Today is a very exciting day for Boot Wizard. We have a lot of firsts. We have my first ever Mizuno review going up on the channel. A few of you asked for Mizuno reviews. This is the first one that I'm ever going to be doing. And we have my first ever Japan only release. Now, just to be clear, this is not a made in Japan model. This is a Japan only release. You can only buy this boot over in Asia, basically. So I need to say a huge shout out, a huge thank you to Tokyo Football. I will leave their details down in the description so you can find them on Instagram, who have hooked me up by letting me buy a pair from them, and they've shipped them over to me. So thank you very much for that. Let's get into these Mizunos. So for anyone that isn't aware, the Monarcida branding on the side of a Mizuno boot basically means that it's a takedown model. But within Asia, especially within Japan, the Monarcida models are super popular, especially for training boots. Way less expensive than what you're going to pick up from a made in Japan model, and they still offer phenomenal quality. The value for money from a Monarcida boot is usually through the roof. They're very frequently made in Indonesia, although there is a couple of models that are made in Japan. And if you're a bit short on cash and you're wanting to pick up a high quality boot, a high quality Mizuno boot, you should definitely consider checking out their Monarcida line. Now what this is the Monarcida Neo Pro, and what that means is that this is a fully synthetic upper. So not only have I got a Mizuno boot on the channel, I've got one without any leather on it. So mine's blown. So if it's not leather, what is it? And it is a microfiber synthetic, primarily in two parts. You get this white area here, which runs all the way around the lateral side of the boot, up most of the medial side of the boot, transitioning into this blue area. Now the white microfiber synthetic is very soft. Out of the box, straight away, good to go, and the more you wear it, the more it breaks in. It's fantastic. It's really, really nice. And it has a little bit of ribbing or texturing in it, which basically just stops the boot being super slick. Without it, if the boot got wet, it would definitely be a very slippy surface, but this helps out and it takes that element away. The blue area here is a thicker, stiffer synthetic, and what that's there for is to provide some structure, some support, and it aids with the lockdown and responsiveness of the boot. So when you push against the medial side, it gives you good feedback and the boot goes with you. Although the lateral side is still fairly soft, which is a strange decision, but I haven't really got any complaints. The internals of the boot are fairly standard. You get a really nice synthetic suede all the way through the back third of the boot and in the heel, which is also really nicely shaped. And you get a great heel lockdown from this, despite the fact that there's not really a lot of padding. And that goes for the rest of the boot as well. There's not a huge amount of padding, and there's more of a nylon liner on the forefront. On the front 2/3 of the boot, there's more of a nylon style liner. Now, that's not the worst, but it's also not the best. It is an element where you would consider this to be slightly cheaper than what you get from those made in Japan models. But this is like a third of the price of those boots, and I didn't really have any issues with it. For anyone missing standard tongue constructions, it's exactly what we get here. No one-piece uppers to mess around with. It does mean that the lockdown isn't quite as good, but that also comes from the fact that this is a wide fit boot. Now, it's not crazy wide, but you can see through the silhouette that it's definitely wide fit, and it only comes in wide fit. The reason for that is that, as I say, it's from Asia, it's from Japan, and that as a whole is an entirely different market. The Japanese market, the Asian market is completely different. People are looking for very different things from their boots. The ground types are different. They want more durability. General Asian foot types require boots to be that little bit wider for comfort. So the wide fit is a standard variation. So if you do happen to have a very wide foot, then Monarcida lines or Mizuno Japan based lines, not the made in Japan, the ones that are actually over there with a wide fit, could really be worth considering. If you want to check out some Japanese releases or some information on Asian boots, I strongly advise reading the Gaijin boot blog. Again, I'll put a link down in the description. He's a guy that's based in Japan that does a lot of reviews of smaller brands or brands that are specific to Asia. Super interesting, really high quality information, and I strongly advise you check it out. The thin upper does lead to a slightly barefoot sensation, but that internal liner, particularly the nylon through the front 2/3, really does lead to a little bit of padding that just kind of takes the sting off any shots. So not crazy barefoot, but it's a nice medium blend, and I quite like it. In upper terms, these absolutely knock spots of anything that you're going to get from the Adidas takedown ranges, if you ask me, and they're better than pretty much everything from Nike and Puma as well. And if I tell you that they come in at under €100, maybe your ears prick up and you're a little bit more excited. Okay, wait time. These are a size UK 8, and it is time for the Monarcida Neo Pro to shine. Because as I say, takedown model, under €100, around 85, and they weigh 183 grams. Like, that is lighter than an X19 Plus, a Vapor 13 Elite. There's very little on the market in elite level boots that you pay €200 plus for that is lighter or even around the same weight as that. So if you want a lightweight synthetic boot, look no further. I've just found it. Like, that is very, very impressive. And they feel it on your feet too. You feel like you're wearing a lightweight boot, but yet you still get a tiny bit of padding in the touch without it being crazy barefoot, without having a crazy stiff sole plate. If that's the kind of thing you're into, then you should definitely be considering a boot like this and maybe stepping out of that regular comfort zone. If you are a fan of Mizuno boots, a follower of Mizuno boots, then this stud pattern will look very familiar to you. This is a Neo Pro, so it does have that very same Morelia Neo stud pattern and layout. It's exactly the same, so the traction is fairly similar. It's all conical studs. I think this is excellent for an AG pitch or a HG pitch, something like that, but it's not particularly aggressive, which again is tied back into what the Japanese or the Asian market tends to go for. They don't tend to pick up those super aggressive sole plates and stud patterns. They tend to go for things a bit like this, which is why Mizuno produced them, because that's Mizuno's biggest market. In terms of the sole plate, it is a little bit cheaper than what you're going to get from those top-end made-in-Japan models, as you would expect. Although durability, these are still riveted on. The quality that has gone into this is still phenomenal, especially considering the price. There is a little bit of flex and movement in the forefoot. There's no problems with that because it's still nice and balanced through the midfoot and heel. And I think it does a fantastic job. I don't really have many complaints. It's not the most snappy, most responsive outsole you're ever going to come across, but there's also not really a lot wrong with it. So I've pretty much seen these in two main colorways, this, the white blue, and this neon yellow color, and also in an all red color. Both look pretty fantastic. It's obviously a regular low cut boot with a standard tongue construction. I really like generally white boots, and I think the white with the navy is a really nice combination. Overall, a really fantastic looking boot. And if you consider the price, then you also have to look at the fact that it looks pretty premium. These are under €100. If you look around, you do the conversion, about €85. So if you do that and think how premium these actually look, I think that's a fantastic thing. Value for money, I alluded to this earlier. These were under €100 to buy. They cost me about €100, including postage, to get them here to Denmark. And it's very hard to beat that for a brand new boot. you are going down to Nike Academy level boots, Adidas 0.3 level boots, and this is just better. It's simply a better boot. It's really nicely put together. The quality is higher. The materials feel higher quality. And if I had to pick this or those, I would pick this every time. Admittedly, there are some elements to it that aren't going to be for everyone, such as that kind of less aggressive sole plate and also that wider fit. It does affect the responsiveness a little bit, but it's a very comfortable boot. It's very lightweight. And again, comparing it up to those takedown models that is in the same price bracket as, it's simply a better boot. Taking a look on the inside, you do get a removable insole, which is actually quite high quality, which you maybe wouldn't expect from a takedown model or a boot at this price. It's definitely better, again, than what you're going to pick up from most takedown models, particularly from Nike and Adidas. You get the synthetic suede liner in the back, again, far better than what you're going to pick up from boots around this price range. And although there's a lack of padding, the fit and the sculpt around your heel is very good, and it gives you a really nice locked in sensation. Now, the only downside for me with these is that I bought these in my regular size UK 8, and that happens to be a little bit too big. I should have definitely gone down half a size in these, and they would have fit me much better. So I haven't used them as much as I would like to, just because of that sizing problem. And of course, there's not a lot I can do about that. I got them from Japan. It's not like I can send these back and get a brand new pair. But my advice to you is to buy half a size down if you do want to go for it. And as I say, they are a wide fit boot. These are going to maybe be an issue if you have a particularly narrow foot, but if you have a regular width foot all the way up to a super wide foot, these should sort you out perfectly. It's a very comfortable boot, it's very soft, and I just don't have any complaints really, apart from the fact that I'm an idiot and I bought the wrong size. So to conclude, I think that these are one of, maybe the best value for money boot that I've ever bought at full price. When you compare what's around this, there's absolutely no competition. This is really, really good. The quality is absolutely through the roof, as you kind of expect from Mizuno, but maybe not on a boot that's sub 100 euros. It's super lightweight, the upper's super soft, and yeah, okay, it's not the most locked in, the most responsive boot that you're ever gonna get, but it's certainly comfortable. The touch on the ball is good, and as I say, the materials, the quality, it's all really, really good. When you put that all together as a package and somebody goes less than 100 euros, I go, yes please. If you want to see more Asia or Japan only releases or more Mizuno boots, then do hit the like button. Let me know down in the comments if there's any synthetic Mizuno boots that you want me to pick up and cover. And of course, do get subscribed to the channel to pick up all of those wonderful future videos. We post 3 times a week, and if you want to decide what's in those videos, then do head over to patreon.com/bootwizard and consider pledging. But that's all from me here today with my Mizuno Monarcida Neo Pros. Hope you've enjoyed it, have a good one, and we'll see you soon.